them spell them either, did they? Just gotta look it up. Hi. I think their names are all online.
Good evening, Gloria Rodriguez, Rodriguez, attorney for the Osun gyro family. Ola and his mother are standing behind me. Good evening, everyone. We just heard the sentence that was handed down. We want to be very clear. This is not a good day for anyone. The Osun gyro family is not happy with this entire process and how it came about. The brothers particularly are regretful for their role in this whole thing, and they've maintained that since the first day. My client's mother is here. She flew in from Nigeria. She feels the pain that probably Jussie Smollett's mother feels. What we're asking for on behalf of my clients is for the city to move on, accept what happened here today, accept what Judge Lynn found as facts in this case, and for everyone to just heal from this. This was a long time coming. This is 3 years of a lot of work, and for that, the Osun gyro brothers really want to thank the Winston & Strom law firm, Dan Webb, Sean Weiber, and of course Sam Mendenhall. But it's time for them and for everyone else to really just move on and heal. 2019 was a year where there's a lot of political outcry. There's a lot of politics, a lot of tribe, factions. As my clients had told the press early on, they were not anti-President Trump. They were not anti-Trump supporters. They just lost their way being loyal to a friend, someone that they had love for, someone who they looked up to, and someone who betrayed them. But again, it's time to heal from that story. Bola is right now training with USA Boxing in Colorado. We had a chance to check in with him. He's also feeling very somber, as Ola and his mother are today. We want to thank the police department also for their work in this case. A lot was said about my clients that I just can't let stand. And one of the things that we really took issue to was about being a convicted felon. Ola stands behind me as a convicted felon. And what he did since then was get 2 degrees, including a master's degree. He runs his own home renovation business, Callow J Homes. He's made what he has today better from that conviction, and we can only hope to convey that message to Mr. Smollett. Don't let this mistake define you. It doesn't have to. Make something good from this. Thank you to all the supporters of the Osun gyro family and for the interest that all of you have had in hearing their story. They will give you that story when the time is right. They will peel back the curtain. They will give you the why, the what, the where, how they felt when they did this. They will give that to you when the time is right. But today is not that time. Today is not that time, but that day will come. Thank you to everyone. We will not be taking questions.
Are we expecting anyone here? Oh, wait, they haven't come through yet? No, I answered. Okay, all right. fucked up on my audio too. I only have I have the outbursts again, but I don't have the speeches. I recorded it, but I have it with other stuff. So who's spoken here already? Just the brother? Somebody spoke here already? See that? I have some tape. I'm gonna have to get, or I can dig out my other one.
Steve Smollett talked to me about it a long time ago.
Check. All right.
It's 30 months. It's 30 months, the first 5 on the job. Yeah, that's why, yeah. It's better than it's on.
Mic, Nelson. And the mic up here.
stay in here.
I tell my kids I am too old for this shit. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just don't do that shit anymore.
still here?
You ready? We get more. I'll wait. Do I need to wait? Are you ready? Well, we just had and concluded a very important sentencing hearing on the Smollett case, and the Office of Special Prosecutor is extraordinarily pleased with the result today. Judge Lynn, in his comments, made it clear that he has accepted our office's position that this was a very serious underlying course of criminal misconduct, and that beyond just the nature of that criminal misconduct of lying to police, that the collateral consequences of what Mr. Smollett did was to harm other gays and blacks because his conduct denigrated hate crimes. His conduct will discourage others who are the victims of hate crimes from coming forward and reporting those crimes to law enforcement and pursuing them. That was our position as to why this was a very underlying, serious criminal course of misconduct which had significant collateral consequences. The court today, with his sentence, by imposing a significant jail sentence, by imposing the maximum amount of restitution, by imposing the maximum fine, and by imposing the maximum amount of probation, this judge clearly, in his comments, made it clear that he clearly has understood from the evidence we presented at trial that this was a course of conduct that deserved severe punishment based on the conviction that was obtained from the jury. Questions?
What did you think about his outburst?
Well, I wasn't quite sure. I'm not going to interpret the outburst. I'm not going to interpret it. I don't know exactly what he was referring to, and I'm not going to interpret it.
Are you surprised he's sticking to his story?
Well, I made the point during my argument to the judge that I thought one of the critical factors that the court should consider in determining how serious the underlying criminal conduct was and whether it warranted jail time was an argument I made that this defendant, Jussie Smollett, has never shown to the city of Chicago an ounce of contrition. He's never once stood up to say, I'm sorry. He's never once stood up to accept responsibility for his criminal conduct. He has simply denied it, and denied it. So again, today, after he's now been convicted by a jury of 5 felony counts, after he heard a judge today excoriate his conduct as being reprehensible conduct, he still stood up in the courtroom and insisted that he's not going to ever admit or accept any responsibility for what he did to the Chicago Police Department or his violation of responsibility to other gays and African Americans, because it's made it hard for people to report hate crimes because of his conduct.
His office sounds like they're definitely going to appeal. Will your office be working on that as well?
Yes, the Special Prosecutor's Office is going to continue to handle the appeal. We're going to see this all the way to the end, and the answer is yes.
Why did you feel confident not recommending the sentence?
Well, here's my position. During the course of handling this case, the court system gave us an extremely experienced, competent trial judge. Judge Lynn, throughout this entire 2-year proceedings, after we returned this new indictment, Judge Lynn has always shown himself to be extraordinarily experienced and fair to both sides. And so as a prosecutor, I decided I did not want to step into his territory. It's the judge that has the exclusive responsibility to determine a sentence. And I decided as a special prosecutor, while I was going to strongly recommend jail, that I was not going to tread into his territory, that it was up to him to decide the appropriate amount. I thought it was the right way to do it, and I do believe that based on the sentence that we just received, that Judge Lynn clearly understood exactly what had happened in this case. He understood the serious course of criminal misconduct by Mr. Smollett, and he imposed basically an appropriate sentence in my judgment based on the conduct that occurred in the case.
Did you find this to be a difficult case?
Well, the case is difficult in the sense that, you know, when you take on a case as a pro bono prosecutor and you're not being paid for your time, you don't know how long it's going to take. You just don't know. But it turned out that this has taken a long time. My firm made the commitment that we're going to do it, and we've done it. We're going to see it all the way through appeal. Okay, you all have a good day. Thank you.
Kim Fox has put out a statement. She's saying this is a damaging, costly, and disingenuous criminal prosecution. Call this a kangaroo prosecution.
Well, I haven't seen State's Attorney Fox's statement. I guess all I can rely upon is the Cook County court system, Judge Tooman, after hearing all the facts and evidence that occurred in connection with the first Smollett case, and when the judge heard the evidence that, in fact, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office dismissed the entire indictment with no punishment whatsoever, no jail time, no restitution, no criminal fine, no probation, no deferred pros. Smollett was allowed to go free and basically give the finger to the city of Chicago. Judge Tooman decided that handling of that case was so inappropriate that a special prosecutor needed to be appointed. So I followed the directions of Judge Tooman and not the directions of Kim Fox.
So, sorry, what's the time frame again on his opportunity to come back to the court and request not an appeal, but...
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I understand.
Can he challenge the sentence?
Well, that may become part of the appeal. They get to decide what they want to appeal on. So whether they will include any sentencing issues in the appeal, that's up to the defense to determine, not up to us.
Do they have a window in which to do this?
Well, their entire appeal has to be perfected within so many, I think it's 30 days after the final order. The final order will be entered by the judge, I assume, in the next day or so, and then the time starts to run.
At the end of the day, does this feel fair and just outcome?
Do I believe it's fair and just? Yes, I do believe it's fair and just. I had a lot of confidence that Judge Lynn understood the evidence, understood how serious the criminal misconduct was, and I had confidence that based on all his years of experience, that he would come to a fair and rational punishment based on the underlying conduct. The judge started his comments today by pointing out that he's considered everything about the case: the nature of Mr. Smollett as a person, the underlying course of misconduct, and how serious it was. And Judge Lynn made the decision that there should be significant punishment imposed on Mr. Smollett, and that's the result of the sentence today.
The one starts now, so
The third,
150 days.
well,
It's not 30 months after the point.
that's right. This is a condition of probation. So his probation starts now, and the first period of time that the judge, 150 days, will be served in Cook County Jail. But that's part of his probation sentence. Okay, have a nice evening. Thank you.
What he's saying about suicide, an interpretation of that is that he's in danger in the jail. He wants everyone to know that he didn't kill himself. Do you think that he's in danger? Is this a life sentence? I'm sorry, is this the death penalty for him?
Look, I'm not going to interpret Mr. Smollett's comment. I heard him make the outburst in court. I'm not quite sure what he intended or meant, and I think you should address that question to him. I'm not going to interpret that. All right, you all have a nice evening. Thank you.
Hey guys, I gotta take these mic breaks. I'm leaving. So, okay.
Grab your mic.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Well, I think it'd be fine. I'll be gone. And then there's.
Right.
That's it? Yeah, George, my six. Yeah.
Both breaks are gone?
Yeah.
Si se puede.
You're just going to stand here and hold everyone.
It's something like that.
He's taking his ball and he's leaving the yard.
It looks like Casey, you're gonna need your help, maybe. No, we're supposed to be. I don't know, but you got 6 slots. You got 6. I'll take one. 50 apiece. Oh, I got one. $100. That's got some nice my man Scojo got to have the middle. I gotta give it to him. All right. Yeah. There you go, man.
Sorry.
You know what I'm going back.
Thanks, Eddie. No problem.
I was gonna say locals first.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it should be. Yes, sir? All right.
Mark, about here? All right.
Flag. You got a rake?
I don't have a rake.
Yeah. There we go. Better than nothing.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Cool. Thanks, man.
drove. I don't know. How'd you get here?
Defense is coming down in a couple minutes, according to.
Hey, Nancy, they're gonna come down.
The Smollett, she's working for Anya Uche. She worked for Dan Hurley, she's former class reporter. What's her last name? Yes, that's it. Do you have her number? Can't find it anywhere.
stand here? Okay. The ones here? Okay. Sorry. Well, we all saw what happened in court today, regardless of what anyone's feelings is about Mr. Smollett, regardless of whether there are people out there that believe he is guilty. Obviously, we're his defense team. We strongly believe in his innocence. And all I would say is this sentence today calls attention to what black people in the United States have been complaining about for a long, long time. The NAACP letter that came in to Judge Lynn reminded him that black defendants convicted of a felony were more likely than white defendants to be sentenced to prison at 57% and 39% respectively. I also pointed out to Judge Lynn a recent decision he made, 2019 case, case number 19 CR 0139401, a domestic battery where the defendant had a prior. And Judge Lynn gave that person 2 years probation for a crime of violence. So the question has to be asked, regardless of how you feel about Jussie Smollett, is it fair what happened today? And the answer is absolutely not. This is round 2 of sentencing. Round 1, Jussie paid $10,000 fines to the city of Chicago, and he was made to do community service. The sovereign, which is the state of Illinois, entered into a contractual obligation with him. He specifically performed his part of the obligation, and they did not. They brought back the charge with a special prosecutor. You can change the agents, but you cannot change the principal. And that special prosecutor has now prosecuted him, got in a conviction, and now he's being sentenced on top of the $10,000. And now he's being told he has to pay $120,000 something plus fines of up to $25,000, and he has to do 30 months probation. On top of that, his career has been negatively impacted. So regardless of where anyone stands in the aisle as to where they feel or how they feel about Jussie, the question is, isn't that beating a dead horse? Isn't that going too far? And it is going too far. All right? So right now, for a Class 4 felony, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a criminal defense attorney and a civil rights attorney and a former prosecutor. I have never seen in my entire career as an attorney, and none of the other attorneys here have ever seen a situation where a Class 4 felony gets the same treatment as a violent offense. In fact, I would say I've never seen a violent offense get this much fines. And so my message is this: if there's anyone that doubted, a few weeks ago we were inundated with media video of police officers arresting a black kid who was fighting with a white kid. And there was a lot of talk about double standards. And if there's anyone that has any doubts about the double standard that exists in the criminal justice system, I'm not saying all judges, there are a lot of progressive judges out here in Cook County, and I'm very proud of that fact. But if there's anyone that has any doubts, today should be a reflection of that. This sentence was a disparate treatment towards a black man, and that's my personal opinion. And I don't want to speak for everybody on the team, but I'm sure they have their own opinions too. In addition to that case that I mentioned, Judge Lynn recently in 2021, last year, someone got 24 months probation for narcotics. And we have a major narcotics issue in the suburbs, the heroin crisis, and they're getting probation. Someone got a Class 4 offender for a gun case, got 2 days in jail. And we all know Chicago has a major gun problem. And so regardless, again, I ask everyone, you might be sitting down there thinking, shame on Jussie for doing this. That's okay, that's your opinion. But is this fair? And the answer is no. I will never forget one of the things my client told me before we walked in here, as we walked in. He told me, I believe this judge is going to give me jail. And I asked him why, and he said, because I'm a black guy. No matter how successful I've gotten, I'm black. And I remember looking at him and saying, Jussie, no, I have full faith in the judicial system. This is a low-level Class 4 felony. And unfortunately, one of the rare occasions my client proved me wrong. And it's just disgraceful. And it's a shame. And maybe this is why we need more minority judges, right? So for people who understand the community, this was very disrespectful. The NAACP wrote a letter, Black Lives Matter, Innocence Project wrote a letter imploring the judge, telling him, offering up their services to monitor the community service if he was to give any, and he did not. And again, this is my personal opinion, and I'm obviously very, very disappointed. It was a very nasty sentence, and of course, we're going to be appealing this one. Okay? We're going to have a discussion with the family, and we'll make that decision sometime tomorrow. Okay? The one for the domestic violence that had a prior, he was white. We weren't sure about the gun case because we couldn't look that up in the system. We couldn't get a good read in the system. But this system, just to be clear, obviously I don't know these cases personally, but the reflection from the clerk's program, the computer system, showed that this individual was white for the domestic case.
But they were both Judge Lynn? In the narcotics case, though, and Judge Lynn? Okay.
I'm sorry?
That Lynn specifically gave some.
Yes, so yes, correct. And I made a filing yesterday, and that filing is in the court system. And in the filing, I listed everything, and Judge Lynn read it. And of course, I'm sure if he felt he wasn't part of any of the cases I listed, I'm sure he would have made a comment about that. You know, listen. I know it's very awkward. A lot of I'm sure there are some attorneys out there saying, "Nene, you know, just keep it walking, keep moving." But as a black man, I'm personally offended by the sentence, and that's the truth. I have nothing to lose saying that. Very offended by it, and for everyone, deracialized people out there who don't care about skin color, who are white, who are progressive, this should be offensive to everyone. It's not fair. It's not right. And again, I'm not here jumping up and down. That time has passed about the verdict and the jury's verdict or whatever, but I'm talking about the sentence. It's wrong. And anyone who is a lover of justice and fairness should be appalled by this. I mean, right now, the city of Chicago has still yet to return the $10,000 fine. That's already done. I mean, how much? You know, soon they might be asking for the guillotine. So I mean, this went too far. I'll let. Well, of course, none of those two options are good, right? If you're about to say to me, well, Mr. Uche, is it possible he gets protective custody? Well, studies have shown, and I put that in filings, protective custody is isolation. That's mental isolation. We're human beings. We need social contact. Of course, the flip side to the coin is if you put him in the general population, then his life is at risk. So it's a no-win situation.
Do you know what is the arrangement?
Well, of course, we are hoping he gets put in the protective custody. And I have to make this clear. I'm currently handling a case of Pedro Ruiz, who was killed by his jail cellmate in the Cook County Jail. And again, as a former prosecutor, I know most of the sheriffs, and they're professional. But I have to say, if anything, of course, happens to Mr. Smollett, they don't need to be told because they have a lawsuit with me right now. I would sue the jail. So I expect professional conduct. I expect him to be protected. And it's just a shame that we're talking about this right now.
You haven't been told he will be protected.
There's no guarantee, but I am going to impress upon them tomorrow morning via communication that they should house him. Obviously, they should. He's high profile. He's received a lot of attacks. All you need to do is log on to various media, social media forums to see some of the nasty things being said about him. And of course, someone like that should be in protective custody.
What do you make of what he was saying as he was leaving? I mean, he spoke about his safety. Can you characterize what did he mean?
Well, just to be clear, Mr. Smollett wasn't saying, I don't want people to think, well, is he going crazy? Why is he yelling? I'm not suicidal. He was doing it for a specific reason because, let's be honest, you have the Epstein situation where he was found dead in his jail, even in protective custody. Now, I don't know what happened in that case. None of us were there. And to my knowledge, an investigation or something was still going on with that. But what Mr. Smollett was concerned about was, what if he turns up dead in protective custody? He doesn't want people to think he killed himself. And you know what? I can't blame him because I have sued a lot of jails for unexplained deaths. Okay?
Can you talk about you're going to be appealing the sentence and you're going to be appealing the verdict?
Yes, it's going to be again, I want to be very respectful of the family because we're going to have a talk with them about exactly what we're going to do. But at this time, I know Ms. Waddell and Mr. Allen want to say something. Yeah.
Are you guys talking with the
Yeah.
court TV, sir?
Okay, that's fine. Wait, I know. But,
Okay. Hello, I'm Shay Allen. I'm one of the attorneys on the case. And I would also echo everything that Ninye said. We're very disappointed by the sentence. It's a shame. It's a travesty. I'm a native Chicagoan, born and raised on the south side of the city. And for the Judge Lynn to chastise Jussie in that way and speak about the black community and speak about the LGBTQ plus community in a way that was so demeaning, and then give him a jail sentence on a Class 4 felony. I've been doing this a long time. I've dealt with murders. I was a prosecutor for a long time. I've never, ever seen such a harsh sentence on a Class 4 felony. I deal with many cases where officers come to court and lie, victims come to court and lie. Many people call it test of lying, because people come to court and lie. Are they prosecuted? No. When we catch officers in lies in court and they prosecuted, no. We just get, good job, not guilty, you go home. Nothing happens to the officer. But in this particular case, this has become the crime of the century. For what? Because everyone, I guess, all of a sudden is appalled about something that is so minor. There are much more significant problems than this city has. A lot that this city has. There's a lot going on in this case. There's issues of politics. They were undermining the decision of a black woman. And that's why we stand here today. So we only hope that the appeal goes well. And I stand here disappointed. Thank you.
My name is Heather Waddell. I am an attorney for Mr. Smollett as well. I would like to speak briefly on the issue of the reporting of crimes and the reporting of hate crimes in particular, and the double standard that seems to go along with depending on who reports the crime, and the non-prosecution of the person who reports the crime depending on their race. We see time and time again issues of, particularly it seems, white women that call the police on black men that they think are following them or doing something when they're just walking their dog through the park. And again, what happens to these women for reporting that somebody is stalking them or that somebody is following them or doing something illegal or illicit when they're not? Nothing. Not a single thing. Nobody calls them liars. Nobody charges them with crimes. And they go about their day. Mr. Smollett now sits in judgment of not just the jury, but the entire world, of something that he was unable to show to the world that he was telling his truth because he had been convicted in the court of public opinion long before he got a chance to tell his story to a jury. And it's sad, and it's dark. And I don't know what we need to do to all move forward from this, but there have to be steps that need to be taken so that this doesn't continue to happen, so that black men, so that gay men, marginalized communities do not continue to be trampled upon by the entire system and by the entire country.
My name is Tamara Walker. I'm also one of Mr. Smollett's attorneys. And the issue that I want to talk about is how this case was tried and convicted, unfortunately, in front of you all, by the mainstream media, by comedians, by late-night talk show hosts, before it was even set for trial. You also had, in this case, which was highly unusual, the former police chief going on to the talk show circuit and making his opinions. A lot of them were actually erroneous, not based in fact, but he presented them as fact. He presented them as if Mr. Smollett should be ashamed when all of us, this is a constitutional right that we enjoy as Americans, all of us enjoy the presumption of innocence and the right to be proven guilty, but that's not what happened in this case. And it was almost impossible to shake that when you have a police chief going on national television convicting someone who's never set foot in a courtroom. You tie that into the disparate sentencing that black men experience. You tie that into, we'll call it the Central Park Karen, because I think that's the most famous case with the Central Park birdwatcher, where she made a false complaint. It was no doubt about that. But where was the prosecution? And here you have 150 days given. So as Mr. Allen pointed out, not only have we not seen this, but 150 days in Cook County Jail, in addition to probation, in addition to restitution, in addition to $25,000 fine, when he'd already done community service and paid a $10,000 fine. When is enough? Enough. It's time for us to start to actually heal. And I know Judge Lynn referred to Mr. Smollett's actions as damaging the healing this country has done or starting to do. I'm not sure where that came from. What I do know is we have a lot of work to do. I have 2 young sons, and it's very important that we get this work done so that I'm not talking about this in 20 years. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tamara.
Can you clarify something, though? So
Sure.
it's 150 days, and that's part of the 30 months, right? It's
Correct.
not 150 plus.
Correct. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Sorry. All right. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
He's silly like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That he spoke to you like that. It's me. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's not ideal. And you know,
Professional.
right, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm used to it.
Sorry, I don't think anybody should be. Whatever. I don't know the backstory, so.